It was incredible when Cleveland didn't pop up in 9. I knew obviously we had moved up, and I had to gather myself for a second. But just a remarkable feeling.
Have you spoken to Dan?
I have not. I haven't spoken to anybody yet. I've just been rubbing my Nick Gilbert bow tie. It's really it's amazing. We talked about before not having Nick here with us, but having the bow tie. I didn't wear it because nobody else can swing Thor's hammer. And I kind of felt like it was a good luck charm for us all along, and then of course my grandmother's pin, so it worked out perfectly.
Is there a clear-cut number one in this year's draft, do you think?
I don't think there's a clear-cut number one in most drafts. I think people, when they say that, they have a really strong feeling for one player over another, but I don't think it's necessarily a consensus in most drafts.
So in your case, it's going to be about who you feel fits best with what you currently have going on.
Yeah, and I think, we're very open-minded. We're going to try to get radically better much quicker. We really feel like there's a sense of urgency about improving our team as a whole, and we're going to look for the right fit in that, and we're very open-minded to what that means.
Does this help steer you in a direction in terms of your coaching search at all?
No, I don't think so. I think if anything, it certainly makes us a more attractive destination, but that's a process that really is sort of in its infancy right now, and I don't really think of them as being correlated.
This is your first year in the current position, your first draft. What do you think is going to happen differently this year than last year?
Well, obviously the pick pool, you have no control over what that's going to be at any given time. So I feel really blessed that we're in this position, and we're going to do all of the due diligence we've always done and try to make the right decision. I don't think anything will be inherently different, other than the fact that I'm here. I'm unique, I guess, but that's the only thing that'll be different.
How much more do you still feel like you have to do on these guys?
Oh yeah, quite a bit. When we had the transition in the middle of the year, that took me away from the scouting side a little bit. And fortunately for us, we continued to watch these guys more than anybody else. So if I've got any makeup to do, it might be relative to 33, but we're really well prepared to have this conversation.
How much consideration would you give into drafting a guy like Dante Exum, who's relatively unproven, on the American scene, but whose ceiling is, tremendous?
Yeah, I think, again, we're going to be open-minded to everything. We've got very clear criteria for what we feel makes us better as a team. We've got a lot of young talent that in some cases doesn't fit terribly well together, and then in some cases has really helped each other grow. So we just need to get the right mix. We need to get the right person to advance us the quickest, the fastest, and as I said, we're very open-minded to what that is.
Open-minded meaning you could actually you'd think about moving the pick.
I don't think we'll ever rule anything out. Mary, from being with me, we've talked about there is no such thing as an untouchable. I'd trade me if it made the Cavaliers better.
Can you talk about the pin?
Yeah, so this is my grandmother, Dana Griffin. She passed away the Saturday after trade deadline, and when I went home for her services, this was in her room, and I took it from there. We won the Phoenix game that next night while I was wearing the pin, and continued to keep it with me. And of course, I've got Nick here as well, so it all worked out really well.
Dave, you talked about trying to find the middle between your offensive background and the defensive background of the ownership. Mm-hmm. How are you going to come to a consensus of what that middle is in regards to the players available at the top picks?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I think relative to the players themselves, everything fits sort of like a puzzle. And so we may have pieces that augment the kid we would draft and vice versa. So in terms of finding the middle, that is going to be a big function of the coaching staff. That's going to be a big function of that search. And then once we get to the point where we all understand what this is going to look like, it's a little easier to fit pieces into it.